Hi everyone, let's talk about Dwarf, which again is on Kickstarter right now, and there'll be a link in the corner in the description to the campaign page, and you can see all of the lovely final stuff there. If you saw the playthrough, remember it's all prototype stuff. If you haven't seen the playthrough, go watch the playthrough. That'll give you a much better idea of how the game plays. So I really like how the mountain evolves in this game, how the board is ever changing, how you can never be sure of what is going to be there, and it gives you a kind of a sense of, take charge of this now, take this opportunity while it's here. The forging, if you have the iron, you are constantly thinking of the majorities of having all of the majorities of everything, because it's how you win the game, but also being pulled in the different directions that, the items are the trigger for the end of the game. Having them can be really useful. There's a special action that lets you turn an item into a load of resources. It's another majority. It's another really important thing. But, am I going to lose my majority in iron before this? How long has the game got left to go? And how sure can I be that that is still going to be there next round if I want to just play it safe and get some more iron in the first place? And, that's just for one kind of thing. It's really good how you are all kind of at each other's mercy, in that the defend cards that come out do affect everybody. So there are all these negative things that are going to be happening, that you need to lose gold or turn it into iron, or you need to lose iron, or nobody can mine this round. There are all these things that can come out, and they can really, in the playthrough particularly, they seem to come out as a big blob, not just constantly, but a lot of them came out in a big clump towards the middle of the game. And it does leave you in this position in the multiplayer game where, if the Great Dragon and some other dragons have come out, and it's like, okay, lose all of your gold, and then each of the dragons lose you 1 gold each, then if you are the player that is sitting there without any gold and has been concentrating on other things, or maybe the other player just managed to get there in front of you and keep taking it, then you're obviously not going to care less about going for the defend cards, because you do get glory from doing them. You do get a benefit, and glory is a tie break, and it's also something that you can spend for the special cards. Instead of having to spend both of your meeples this round, you can spend 1 meeple and some glory to take the special action instead. But yeah, it's glory is definitely useful, but it's not a big enough reward to make you go on something you're absolutely not interested in. So if you are in that kind of situation and you are the player that's got all of the gold, then you probably have to spend all of your turn going on those defend cards, or seeing which are the most important to you, or trying to, in a game with more players, this does go up to 3, or you can combine sets to go at higher player counts, then you will probably be making temporary alliances with other players that have some kind of vested interest in gold, and trying to get them to go on the spaces with you as well. In the solo game, I really like it. It reminds me of solo games that I really enjoy, in that you have this dummy player that does the usual great dummy player things, that he's getting in your way, he's breaking the rules and getting extra benefits that you wouldn't, like getting to forge twice, for example. But also, he is something that can be manipulated as well. You can't control where he's going to go first, because that is down to the second mountain card that gets drawn each round. But after that, your first placement is going to determine where the dummy player's second placement is going to be. And so you can use that to your advantage to try and make the dummy player go to, say, a defend card that you really want to use, because the dummy player is never going to use glory. He's going to use it as a tiebreaker, and probably end up with a lot of it if you let him do that a lot. Or can go on spaces that you don't particularly care about, or to gather something in a majority that you're already really strong in. The difficulty that I did the playthrough in, it is the beginner difficulty. It's learning the ropes difficulty. In the standard and hard difficulty, the dummy player is really going to be, he's not going to be tempted to go for forge cards when he hasn't got the materials to do it. He's going to be more of competition. In the basic mode, it's mostly as a blocker and something to be manipulated. But in its full mode, it's definitely a fearsome opponent, especially if it's managed to get a load of materials and then can just forge seemingly infinitely and can close out the game before you know what's happened. So yeah, I really like that part of it. That's it's at the same time as you're trying to predict where it's going to go and make sure you can get what you want done, it's also something that, under the right circumstances, if you have predicted it right and placed your first meeple in the right place, you can use him to your advantage as well, even though you are competing against him. For the multiplayer mode, I don't want to put it down at all because I think it's a really, really clever way of having these kind of standoffs that, even if you have defend cards that affect everybody, you're going to be kind of thinking, I don't want to be the person that goes on there first. I've got other things. I've got mining to do. I want to get these materials and then forge them into an item this round with my 2 meeples. I don't want to be the person that has to defend. You go and defend. So it can make that kind of thing. But if everybody is stubborn about it and everybody's playing chicken with it, then you might well suffer and not have the materials to be able to craft those items by the end of the round, and it's all been for nothing because everyone was too stubborn about it. I really admire that and like it in concept. In practice, it's not our style as players at all. Playing it 2 players with Rachel, we're just not that kind of player. We just didn't get on with it at all. And so yeah, I've definitely loved the solo mode the most. But again, I don't want that to sound like I'm putting down that side of the game. It's just not for our way of playing at all. But I really like the concept of it and can imagine how that is really, really going to go off with the right group. And hey, you know what kind of group you are better than I do, don't you? You've seen the playthrough, though. You've already decided whether it's one for you. I think I missed out a word there, and it's really thrown me. Anyway, this is on Kickstarter. You get a better idea from the campaign page, or my playthrough, or other things. Thank you for listening to me, though. I will go on about hundreds of other games. There's more than 300 of these things now that are on this channel. You can go see them if you want. You can check them out. There are playthroughs, there are top 10s, all sorts of things. Thank you very much for watching, though, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye, everyone.